As in our earlier PPT, we talked about writing and speaking during appraisals and negotiations. We learned how we can negotiate when we are going to be appraised. How do we have to talk about growth? How do we have to talk about, how do we have to be calm? How do we have to be speaking, in writing, in listening, in drafting mails, in showing our growth, in showing those parameters where we have given clientele and where we have given company growth as well. Now we are going to talk about synthesizing reports, emails, and verbal updates. The goal for this is, in any professional setting, you are often expected to take large volumes of information, reports, meeting notes, emails, or discussions, and summarize them clearly and consciously. The goal is not just to shorten information, but to extract and reframe it in a way that is understandable, relevant, and action oriented. Now, what do we mean by this? We mean by this saying that in professional settings, when we are being professional, we need to expect that we have to work in large volumes where informations regarding reports, meeting notes, emails, and discussions can be a part of our profile, where summarizing them clearly and consciously can be there. The goal is not just to shorten information, but to extract and reframe. It's not about shortening any information, it's about extracting what you can reframe and understanding the relevant action oriented. You can understand what action should be relevant, which should be taken from this, which gives growth parameters to our work. The 5 key focus areas for synthesizing reports, emails, and verbal updates are as follows. The first one is read and understand the source carefully. The second is pick only the essential points. The third is use clear and simple language. The fourth is tailor the summary to the audience. And the fifth one is end with action or follow up. I repeat, this is going to help you synthesize reports, emails, and verbal updates when you will take care of all these 5 key focus areas. The first one is read and understand the sources carefully. The second one is pick only the essential points, leave the rest aside. Use clear and simple language. Clear and simple language is understood by everybody. One doesn't have to put in more parameters in understanding that. Tailor the summary to the audience. End with action or follow up. Coming to the first point, read and understand the source carefully. Take time to scan the full report, email chain, or meeting notes. What we do occasionally or usually is we don't take much time to see the report. We just go through it, close it completely. We don't have to do that. We have to take time to scan the full report, email chain, or meeting notes. Identify the main topic, purpose, and who said what. You have to very specifically understand the main topic. The topic to understand is the main thing. Purpose, what is the purpose behind it, and who said what. It's very important to identify the problem, to identify what it is exactly is, the main topic, what is the main topic, what is the purpose behind it, and who said what. Understand context. Are you updating a manager, a peer, or a client? Whom are you getting coordinated with as far as the work parameter is concerned? Is it your manager? Is it a peer? Or is it a client? For example, as the example mentioned below, before summarizing a 20-page project status report, you quickly underline delays, key dates, and actions needed for your department. Before summarizing a 20-page project status report, you quickly underline delays, key dates, and actions needed for your department. When you're sorted with these 3 things, reading the 20-page project status would be more easier if you quickly underline delays, key dates, and actions needed for your department. Pick only the essential points. Filter out backgrounds, background noises, and irrelevant side conversations. Filter out background noise and irrelevant side conversations. Focus on the problems, decisions, actions, deadlines, and results. We need to focus on the problems first, decisions, actions, deadlines, and results. Don't over explain, aim for clarity, not details. We need to aim for the clarity. We don't need to explain the details. We don't need to go into details. We need to mention or aim our clarity first. सबसे पहले the first thing which we need to do is pick essential points. What is the first essential point which needs to be picked? Filter out the background noise. There should be no background noise. There should be no irrelevant side conversations. Everything should be cleared off so that confusions are not created. Focus on the problem. We should be focusing on the problem, what the problem we are taking care of. Decisions should be taken. Actions should be implemented. Deadlines should be made and results should be taken care of. Don't over explain. Aim for clarity, not details. Example. Now we are undergoing the same example for pick only the essential points. Instead of writing, there was a long discussion on whether the budget should be extended by 3% or 5%. What was the question? The question was whether the budget should be increased by 3% or 5%, depending on the vendor negotiation. And the finance team had different opinions. What was the question? The question was that the budget should be extended first by 3 or by 5%, depending on the vendor negotiation, and the finance team had differing opinions. Say budget increases was discussed, a decision will be made post vendor review next Monday. Now how do we need to express this? With this 4-line paragraph, what did we understand? We understood that there was a budget increase required which could be raised by 3 or 5%, but after the vendor's negotiation. So irrespective of the fact that you wrote, you didn't aim for clarity, you went into the detail. As we talked about the third bullet, don't over explain, aim for clarity, not detail. We are detailing this example. We are showing that we have detailed this example. Instead of detailing the example, we can simply say that the budget increase was discussed, a decision will be made post vendor review next week. Clear? Use clear and simple language. We have to use a very clear and simple language. We have been discussing in many slideshows that we have to avoid jargons unless your audience understands it. What is the problem here? The problem here is that we go for the jargons, but many of us don't understand that. Like blood pressure. Blood pressure is a word, it's a sequence, it's a medical issue, it's a medical term. But in spite of blood pressure, we write BP in smalls. That's a jargon. It is a jargon, but everybody would not be understanding. Are we specifically talking about blood pressure, or are we talking about B for something else, P for something else? What does this B and P stand for? So these kinds of words are called jargons. These jargons should not be put in languages unless and until the audience with whom we are interacting, the audience with which we are talking, should have or should not have the clarity on this. If they understand it, it's perfectly alright. It's saving our time. If they are not understanding it, then it's an issue. So, in spite of the fact that we raise any issue and we don't keep our language clear and simple, we are creating confusion. So, not creating any confusion is avoiding jargons. Clear? Use short sentences and active voice. We will submit the draft instead of the draft will be submitted by us. Use short sentences and active voice. We should always try to use short sentences and we should always use active voice. The other sentence, the draft will be submitted by us, is not an active voice. We will submit the draft is an active voice. So it represents itself in a better manner. We can represent it in a better manner by saying that we will submit the draft. Group similar points using bullet points or numbering if written. It has always been mentioned in the previous PPTs, in the previous slides, that giving bullets, mentioning bullets in your presentations, in your talking, in any discussions, in anything, are much easier to read and understand than paragraph writing. So we should stop paragraph writing. Wherever it is necessary, it's okay, but as far as the presentations, the memos and other things are concerned, it is better to be on bullet points. Example, verbal summary. Now how do we differentiate verbal summary? We are on track with deliverable except for the UI updates, which are delayed by a week. Client's approval is still pending. We expect to catch up by next sprint. Everything is clear, everything is precise, everything is mentioned. How? What did we understand with this paragraph? This 2.5 line paragraph made us understand that the deliveries are on track except the UI updates, they are not there, and the delays for a week. Client's approval is not there, it's still pending, and we expect to catch up in the next sprint. Next time we try to catch up. It's very simple, it's very precise, it's very nominal, it's respectful, and above all, it's similarity related points. We are on track with deliveries, finished, closed deliveries option, except for the UI updates. UI updates are not there, clear, done, which are delayed by a week. Exactly next week they'll be done. Client approval is still pending. We are not. So in this conversation or in this paragraph, we are not getting any questions. Why are we not getting any questions? Because we have already self-explanatory talked about the verbal summary. We have been very clear about it. Next is tailor the summary to the audience. What do we understand by tailoring the summary to the audience? What does tailoring mean? Tailoring means stitching things to fit in the size. Tailoring means stitching something to fit in the size. So tailoring the summary to the audience means making your information fitting according to the convenience of the audience, not with the convenience as far as you are considering. No, getting it, summarizing it to the audience. For your manager, focus on decisions, escalations and next steps. Managers should focus on decisions, escalations and next steps. For clients, highlight progress, delays and how you are solving problems. For clientele tailoring, it should be highlighting progress, delays. They should be either highlighting the progress or they should be highlighting the delays and how you are solving the problems. That should be summarization or tailoring for the audience. For teammates, share task level updates, blockers and resources. For teammates, you should say task level updates, blockers and resources. For example, what is the written summary to the client? We have completed 80% of our development. Final testing will begin on May 20th. We are still waiting for content from your end. Please confirm if it will arrive this week. Clear and precise. Written summary. That was tailoring the summary to the audience, where we had 3 bullets. The first bullet was for your manager, the second bullet was for the client, and the third bullet was for the teammates. Where in the first bullet, for your manager, you have to focus on the decision, escalations and next steps. For the clients, highlight progress, delay and how you are solving problems. And the third bullet was for teammates, share task level updates, blockers and resources. Examples written summary to the client is very clear. If the client gets this summary, he will be having no questions. Why? It's self-explanatory and precise. Where you have mentioned we have completed 80% of the development is done. Only customer itself, client itself gets the feedback, only 20% is left. Final testing will begin on May 20th. He is clear when the testing is going to happen. We are still waiting for the contact from your end. Some delays from your end also. Please confirm, will it arrive, and will we get it in the week or not? Clear, finished, precise. End with action or follow up. We have to end with action or follow up. What action we are taking, what follow up we are doing. Don't just summarize, state what is next or what is needed. Include who is responsible and by when. If you are sending an email, add a subject line and clear ask. Now, we have been talking in our previous PPTs about tailoring the summary to the audience. We talked about using clear and simple language. We talked about picking only the essential points. We talked about reading and understanding the source carefully. We talked about the goals. We talked about reading and understanding the source carefully. We talked about the pick only the essential points. Then we talked about use clear and simple language. We talked about tailoring the summary to the audience. Now we are talking about the end with the follow-up. Now, if we are clear with all the parameters which we have covered in our slides, coming to the final, we would be in a position where we have understood the synthesizing report, emails and verbal updates. That means end with an action or follow-up. Whatever we have been talking about, doing, summarizing, taking care of, we have to end it with an action. Only talking about it is not going to work, it's not going to help us. We have to be actively talking about it. We have to do, just don't summarize it, state what next or what is needed. Going through the summary, going through the revision, going through the tailoring, going through the process, going through every single instruction, we understand that the next action should be done. We should not just sit quiet, we should be either following up or we should be working according to the action planned. Include who is responsible and when. Every single thing cannot be done on our own. We cannot do everything on our own. Whenever we have to work on a project, whenever we have to work on something, it requires a team, it requires a staff, it requires proper instructions to the staff. If we have a 4-member team, if we have a 3-member team, if we have a 5-member team, what is our prime concern? Our prime concern is to understand a 4-member team is comprising of which qualities which would be helpful in completing our project. So we would analyze all 4 of them, check out their parameters, see what all implementations they can do to complete the project. We can use their strengths, their power of ability to understand and complete the project. We can use them, and after seeing this, we will see which all people would be included in this project and how would they be completing their project with the responsibility and by when. If we have any hindrances in that, if we have any problems in that, many a times what happens, many of the people don't get along well with each other. If we have a team of 4 people or 5 people, we see that 3 of them are getting along with each other very well, but the 2 of them are not getting along with each other very well. So now what should be our prime concern? Our prime concern here is to understand that how can we solve this confusion with the other 2, where all 5 of them worked focusedly on the project and give a proper strengthened feedback which is helpful for the project, which brings in company profile in a better place, which completes our project, which makes us more effective and more growth oriented. So what we do, we sit with those 2 people, we talk to them, we try to solve their problem. Once their problem is solved, once they are able to understand where and when and how they have to be interacting with each other, what all parameters should be covered so that the project is completed on time. We have to mention these things very clearly over here, that you need to include whosoever is responsible and by when it is closing. If you are sending an email and a subject line and clear ask. Now, sending an email, to the client or a subject line to the client, it should not be dicey. It should be very clear. It should be readable. It should be understood. The client should be understanding what all parameters you are looking forward to, what are answers you are looking forward to, which all areas you are asking for, what all needs to be covered. All these parameters have to be included in this particular email sending process. Add a subject line and clearly ask. For example, follow up line would be, I will send you the revised estimate by Friday. Please confirm the content delivery timeline so we can finalize the design. Now these two lines are very clearly mentioning that you are sending the estimates to them by Friday and you need a confirmation from them on the context of delivery as to when the design is going to get finalized, so that the delivery timeline is decided. Very precise, very clear, very authenticated. I would like to mention one more thing here in my previous PPT, where we were talking about pick only the essential points, filter our background noise and irrelevant side conversations, focus on problem, decision, actions, deadlines and results. Don't over explain, aim for clarity. Every next time we are working on any project, we are working on any deadline, we are trying to do something which is compromised, which is comprised of these particular things, we need to understand that our focus simply should be to understand that in less time, in less clarity, we create more, we get more results. Coming to the slide again, we have done with the action and follow up. Coming to the next slide and the next PPT, we would be discussing scenarios, Microsoft PowerPoint, Google Slides. Purpose is to create professional presentation. See, I have been sharing sites with ideas, with examples to make things very clear, professionally understood to my viewers. Create professional presentations, use templates, animations and charts. Everything is available on these slides. Keep slides visually clean. There is a site for this, www.microsoft.com. Notion templates. Purpose: organizes your project briefs, notes and summaries very clearly, very nicely. Use ready-made templates for project planning, meeting notes, etc. Great for remote team documentation and collaboration. HTTP is www.notion.so.templates. I repeat, the purpose of this Microsoft PowerPoint presentation is to help create professional presentations. These templates, animations and charts are going to help you. Purpose is to organize project briefs, notes and summarizing them. Use ready-made templates for project planning, which is going to make it better. Meeting notes, etc. also is going to increase and help you in this. Great for remote team documentations and collaborations. www.notion.so.templates. Interview simulators. Purpose: practice interview responses. All are role play based tools that simulate job interviews. Get feedbacks on tone, timing and clarity. Popular options are big interviews and PRAMPS. These are the things where you can take help from increasing your growth, your availability, your practice of interviews responses. Thank you.